Hi everyone, I'm Amy, co-founder of Campus Integrity Group. My partner Amber and I created our company to share our expertise investigating adult-on-student sexual misconduct allegations, strengthening prevention efforts, and reviewing policies and procedures for compliance with current laws. Today we're going to talk about building and maintaining trust after a misconduct allegation. So misconduct allegations are among the most challenging situations a school community can face. And while procedures and compliance matter, today's focus is on trust, how it's affected during these moments, and what schools can do to preserve or rebuild it. This session isn't about eliminating risk or emotion. It's about responding in ways that are thoughtful, fair, and centered on student well-being. Why does trust matter? Because it shapes how families experience every step of the process. When trust is present, families are more likely to engage, cooperate, and feel confident in the school's response, even when outcomes are difficult. When trust is lost, even well-run processes can feel suspect or harmful. Maintaining trust is not just a relational goal. It directly affects credibility and long-term community confidence. Families rarely enter these situations calmly or neutrally. They may be feeling fear for their child's safety, confusion about what's happening, anger about what they've learned, or guilt for not knowing sooner. Even families not directly involved are often watching closely. Understanding this emotional context is essential to communicating effectively. Trust can erode quickly after an allegation, especially when families experience silence, delays, vague explanations, or inconsistent messaging. Defensiveness or minimization, whether intentional or not, often signals to families that the institution is prioritizing itself over students, and these perceptions, once formed, are very difficult to reverse. Schools often focus heavily on procedures, timelines, and compliance, and those things do matter, but process alone does not build trust. Families need to see care, intention, and follow-through. A technically compliant response can still feel cold, confusing, or dismissive if the human element is missing. Effective communication after an allegation starts with acknowledging concerns early, even when answers are limited. Schools should explain next steps clearly, be honest about what they can and cannot share, and avoid legal jargon. Families generally don't expect immediate answers, but they do expect honesty and respect. It's important for school administrators to set clear expectations. Uncertainty often creates more anxiety than bad news does. Families want to understand who is responsible for overseeing the response, what the general process looks like, how long things may take, and when updates will occur. Clear expectations help reduce speculation and prevent frustration from filling information gaps. Transparency does not mean sharing every detail. It means explaining how decisions are made, how reports are assessed, and why certain information cannot be disclosed. When confidentiality limits are explained thoughtfully, rather than used as a blanket response, families are often more understanding. One of the quickest ways trust erodes is when families believe the outcome is predetermined or influenced by status, relationships, or internal pressures. Even the appearance of bias can undermine confidence. Schools must be intentional about demonstrating fairness and not just assume that it will be understood. It's important for schools to show independence and neutrality. Avoid informal shortcuts, use trained neutral decision makers, document your reasoning carefully, and follow established protocols with consistency. Avoiding informal shortcuts and relying on trained neutral decision makers helps reinforce credibility. Consistency matters, so similar situations should be handled similarly, regardless of who is involved. Careful documentation of decisions and rationale also help demonstrate that outcomes are grounded in evidence and protocol, not assumptions. Families want to know how their child is being supported during this process, and not just investigated. This includes emotional and academic support, interim safety measures, protections against retaliation, and regular check-ins. When support feels proactive rather than reactive, families are more likely to remain engaged and trusting. Trust is not built through a single meeting or update. Student and family needs may change over time, and communication should continue even when there is no new information to share. Following through on commitments, especially the small ones, signals reliability and care. How a case is closed often leaves a lasting impression. Schools should consider how outcomes are communicated, what can be shared compliantly, and how families are supported afterward. Closing a matter thoughtfully helps prevent lingering frustration and unanswered questions. Post-resolution is also an opportunity for growth. Reviewing lessons learned, reinforcing reporting pathways, addressing training gaps, and strengthening prevention strategies show families that the school is committed to improvement and not just resolution. So strengthen your trust long-term, not just per allegation or per case. So what does all of this mean? Trust is built through consistent actions, clear communication, and a visible commitment to student safety, especially when circumstances are difficult. So again, trust is not built by saying everything. It's built by consistently doing the right things. Clear communication, visible fairness, and a genuine commitment to student safety matter most when circumstances are hardest. And these moments test schools, but they also offer opportunities to reinforce credibility and care. And that's it for today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to reach out, and be sure to visit our website and check out all the other free videos in our Learning Hub. And while you're there, don't miss our marketplace, full of on-demand videos, downloadable guides, and consulting packages. Finally, be sure to register for our live webinar coming up in January on delayed report investigations and support strategies. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.